A failed F1 driver gets an unlikely chance to redeem himself 3 decades after his last race. I've never watched an F1 race, and I gave up on the Netflix Drive to Survive show after about a season and a half. I'm all about limit-pushing technology and the pinnacle of human innovation, but for some reason I just couldn't get into the show or the sport. I wanted to see if director Joseph Kosinski could capture that same breakneck, thrilling action in cars that he did in fighter jets. And you know what? He did. Although Top Gun Maverick is the better movie in my opinion. F1 is an elite sport. It takes literally hundreds of millions of dollars for a team to design and build these race cars. They are so advanced and so fast that only a handful of people in the entire world are even capable of driving. There are only 20 F1 drivers at any given time in the sport. Brad Pitt plays Sonny, a driver well past his prime who is in deep gambling debt, but he has this insane itch to prove that he is the best driver in the world. Doesn't matter if it's a NASCAR, if it's a dune buggy, Le Mans, or F1. He wants to race and he wants to win. He doesn't want the trophies or the prizes. He just wants to prove himself on the track. Pitt is playing a character we've seen dozens of times. He's good looking, charming, very confident in himself, maybe a little bit cocky. He's really the same character he plays in every movie, and you know, he's just kind of hard to dislike. When Sonny is approached by an old friend who now runs his own F1 team, he's in need of a driver on his failing team. And so, of course, Hayes jumps at the opportunity, as it is the only race type that he's really not mastered. Now, from here, the story is pretty predictable. I'd go even as far as calling it cookie cutter. Many of the beats in this movie seem cut and pasted from the movie from a couple of years ago, Gran Turismo, which I really enjoyed. But F1 is just the bigger, more polished, and more entertaining brother. The movie was produced by Apple, who has been marketing the heck out of it. It's kind of got the same vibe as watching one of Apple's super polished keynotes announcing new iPhones or new software. F1 is so bright and vivid, the sets and actors don't have a hair out of place, or there's never a mote of dust on the camera. I've said the same thing about a lot of Netflix movies. They don't feel real because everything just is too perfect. This usually rubs me the wrong way, but because the movie is about arguably the most elite sport in the world that is watched by the world's richest people, I'm kind of okay with there being no oil on the shop floor and about a million bright white lights in every room. It just kind of works here. F1 is not the kind of movie you watch for the plot. You should be watching it to see the never-before-seen perspective of racing over 200 miles an hour around a track. The racing scenes are tense and visually stunning with incredibly powerful surround sound. The movie is fast and intense every time you're on the track. Pitt plays the OG racer while Damson Idris plays cocky rookie racer Joshua Pierce. Pierce clearly has youth and fearlessness on his side, while Hayes has experience. They don't really like each other much at the beginning, but I bet you can guess how the story plays out. Now, technical race director Kate McKenna, played by Better Call Saul and Banshees of Inisherin's alum, wraps up the main cast. I liked having a female technical director, even though I think she was only female because they needed to have a love interest for Pitt's character, which is a little bit disappointing. But either way, I did like her character. And because I know next to nothing about F1, I didn't mind that the movie was basically narrated by the F1 race announcer. He was always explaining what was happening, which probably was annoying to F1 fans, but it was necessary for all of us who have no idea about race strategies and the different types of tires and that sort of thing. Now, I did recognize a few of the names and cameos of real F1 drivers like Lewis Hamilton, who also happened to produce the film. While the movie does a great job of showing the technical aspects of that, I actually wanted a bit more of the behind-the-scenes stuff. I wanted to know how that F1 race simulator they kept showing in the movie was programmed and how it worked. I wanted more info on the real-time race data that was collected, and I wanted to see how the technical team took that data and tweaked the car for the next race. Driving over 200 miles an hour in a tiny car is dangerous, and I have seen some gnarly wrecks where the driver walks away unharmed, so I know that the cars are safe. While watching this though, I could not get over how there is literally a pillar directly in front of the driver's face. They're going 200 miles an hour and can't move their head side to side. They have a huge blind spot directly in front of them. I just cannot imagine driving like that. F1 is not Top Gun Maverick, but it captures the speed of F1 racing, and it's going to introduce a whole new audience to this sport. I'm now ready to give Drive to Survive another shot, and maybe even try to watch an F1 race. F1 is a crowd pleaser. It's a typical summer blockbuster, but just because it doesn't break new ground doesn't mean that it isn't a heck of a lot of fun. Bonding with your new teammate, cutting cards with one hand, driving 200 miles an hour with an obstructed view, laundromats, playing pinball, shirtless couch naps.